Thanks to the Supreme Court and also a little bit of inaction from Joe Biden and the Senate and the House not really doing anything, a combination of different things, student loan repayment will resume soon. And already there are a lot of reasons to believe this is gonna be devastating, not just for the people who are going to have to resume paying that on a monthly basis and can look forward once again 2 years or potentially decades of having to repay the student debt that they never should have been saddled with in the first place, but it's also gonna damage the economy. And so for those of you watching, regular people, you're probably gonna have a lot of empathy for the people repaying it. Maybe you are struggling with student loan debt. But if any of the elites are listening, like, hey, this is gonna be bad for you guys too, maybe do something. So overall, the resumption of student loan payments will pull $70 billion a year out of the economy. That's according to Moody's Analytics. If the plan had been upheld, the end of the payment pause would have amounted to about a 0.2% reduction in real personal consumption expenditures. About double that will now happen thanks to the Supreme Court destroying the debt plan that Joe Biden put forward. Senior economist at Morning Consult, Jesse Wheeler, says this is definitely a cause for concern. There are a lot of headwinds already in place with the economy. And we know, look, 1 in 10 adults in the US, about 26 million people has federal student loans that have been in forbearance since 2020. More than 2/3 of those borrowers will face monthly payments about $200 to $300. So for some people, like a car payment that they will now once again have to pay, with all of the interest and all of the effect that that'll have on their ability to do other sorts of paying, pay down other sorts of debt, start a business, buy a home, move to a new city. Like all of that is now gonna have a $200 to $300 or far more for some people hit on a monthly basis. Jessica, what do you make of it?
Right, so a lot of people have strong feelings about this on two fronts. One, the question of, is it fair and just to cancel student loan debt? The other, is it good for the economy to cancel student loan debt? My answer to both of those, I think for good reasons, is yes. The legality of this is an entirely different question and not a concern. There are a lot of folks in public office that have no problem with overturning legal precedents. That's not a problem. However, it is legal with current laws that are written. The Higher Education Act of 1965 is very clear, giving the secretary the right to waive, lien, any title right, claim, demand, however required. They can, just get rid of the student loan debt. It's very clear with that language. They can change the enforcement, the payment, they can compromise it, they can waive it, any right, title, claim, lien, or demand, however acquired, including any equity or right of redemption. That very clearly gives them the authority to cancel student loan debt. But the question of, is it good for the economy? It's bad for the economy when young people can't spend their dollars into it and are instead paying off these loans. Is it fair and just? Yeah, absolutely, because bankers intentionally increased the price of tuition and colluded with universities to do so at a time when people were sheltering from a really bad economy in 2008. They did not want to work. They didn't increase the value of an education or the quality of education provided. They just wanted working people and people of color to have a lifetime of debt, and they wanted a way for them to profit off of it. Is it fair and just to cancel that and have some of those folks who profited unjustly to pay the burden? Yeah, that's the right thing to do. It just makes sense.
Yeah, but those are really influential people. They're probably better than us.
They give us a lot of money when we run for office, so I don't know.
That's true. That's true. I should really run for office. But anyway, I saw this message from Steph Ma on Twitch. Had the student debt plan passed, my husband's loans would have been 100% paid off. Now we get to go back to a 9% interest rate and $600 a month payments. That is devastating.
Instead, we all just won't buy houses. We'll let investors buy them up and we'll rent for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, Jesus. They're warning, like, not just about the overall economic impact of this, but they're warning about the effect it'll have on individual companies. So they're worried about Target, which already is going broke because it went woke. Let's be clear about that. But also Dick's, Wayfair, Williams, Sonoma. Apparently consumers with student debt spend around 18.5% of their discretionary spending at Amazon alone. That is amazing, by the way. Nearly 12% at Walmart, nearly 6% at Target. And obviously your ability to spend money at those companies is going to take a hit. And so, bear that in mind. Something for the corporations to bear in mind when they're putting people into office that are economically on the radical right wing. Just something to think about.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.